Saturday, February 21st. 3 cards for the energies in play today. Let's see what's going on. First card. And we have the 6 of Swords. It is upright. This is the Morgan Greer deck. So we've had a lot of swords this week. So swords being truth, intellect, discernment, cutting through the veil, cutting through the noise, getting to the signal. And even though this card is dark and a little bit dreary, it has a hopeful feeling to me because this boatman is ferrying his passenger across turbulent waters toward calmer waters. And the swords, even though they're kind of looming in front of the passenger, they're actually forming a protective barrier here. So something is coming clear now. I think the scales are falling away from people's eyes. I think we're getting to the truth of certain matters. And what comes after this will be clearer and cleaner than what was before. So remember, these swords, they cut cleanly down to the truth, down to the bone, as it were. The most dependable truth is coming together now so that we can really look at it and get it out in front of us and see what the obstacles are, where the paths through may be, and how we start to get there. And the boatman behind, he's obviously skilled. He's not panicking. There's no immediate catastrophe looming in this card. This is just, okay, we are slowly but steadily moving toward the opposite shore, coming toward the end of a journey. I mean, we're still mid-journey, but we can see the distant shoreline here. We can see that there's land and trees on the other side. So light at the end of the tunnel, not an exact metaphor, but that's kind of what I'm feeling from this one today. So hang in there, everybody, because we're getting somewhere, finally. Okay, let's see how the second card informs this framing. And we get the Page of Rods. We've seen him a couple of times this week as well. This card, being so dry, stands in stark contrast to the first card with all the water. And I'm getting a very Jesus in the desert kind of a feeling for this. It suggests that once we reach that opposite shore, there's still quite a bit of a journey ahead. This page is considering his options. He's got stored fire in that rod. Remember, woods represent fire. The rod is still blooming, it's still alive, so he's considering, what do I do with this? How do I let it guide me? How do I let it lead me forward? How do I use this truth to inform my journey going forward? So on a personal level, you can look at these new truths that have become evident in your experience and ask them, what are you pointing me toward? How does it all work together? The page is still in beginning mode, learner mode. He's still learning how to manipulate this fire that he holds in his hands. So this speaks to me a little bit of integrity. I think there's integrity called for here. We can't just use the old methods of navigation given what we now know. There's an innocence that's been lost here. Even though he's a page, he's still a beginner. He's an adult page. He's not coming from a place of absolute naivete. He's seen a lot, it seems to me, and he's been initiated onto this path already. But the tools have changed, the GPS has changed, and so now this is a moment to pause and go, okay, where do we go next? How do we carry this? What do the conditions demand? What do they require? And what is appropriate? Again, back to this integrity feeling. What is the most embodied, integral, aligned way I can approach what's happening right now? So the Six of Swords is giving us mental clarity through passage, and the Page of Rods is telling us to use creative integrity in response. So in other words, at first you have to stop lying to yourself, and then we decide what we're going to do about it. Third card, let's see how this all comes together. Look at that, 9 of Rods. 9 is one of my favorite numbers. It suggests that we're reaching maximum saturation. So this knight here, you can see he's still in the same dry landscape, but now he's got a wealth of fire available to him. So the truths that he has been discerning all this time have now been transmuted into power, into latent ignition. 9 being on the cusp of 10, which is a completion number, tells us we're in a very dynamic moment now. So the page has graduated to this much more advanced rank. He's used his rod well and multiplied it. And so now he is on the cusp of being a royal, being in the court cards, nobility. Now he's looking left, which suggests a gaze to the past, looking to historical precedent to decide how he's going to wield these rods. He's also got a glove on, so he's well protected. He's got his helmet, but the visor is up, so there's no imminent danger here, but he is fortified. He is well prepared for the moment that's about to come, for this completion phase that's on the way. The plumage on his helmet always reminds me of a horse's tail, so there's a suggestion too here that there is kind of that driving energy of the equine, the horse. Oh, what an interesting coincidence. This is the Chinese year of the fire horse, you probably know, and so this is a very fire horse energy in this card, so maybe the Chinese are onto something here. I think that fire horse energy is going to come into play and be available to the collective, the world in general, as we navigate everything that we've learned recently. And I should clarify, because I've called this guy a knight a couple of times, and this is not the knight card. There is a knight of rod, but this is not a knight. He is dressed like a knight, however. He's not really a soldier, so if he's a soldier, he's some kind of an advanced rank, so you can do with that what you will, but just to be as accurate as possible here. So to sum it up today, the Six of Swords gave us a mental crossing, something becoming undeniable. Truth is stabilizing, and it's protective, and it's poised as a useful tool going forward. The Page of Rods tells us that truth demanded a response, and this page is considering his response before he moves forward. He's asking, how do I stay aligned with this? How do I stay in integrity? And again, he's lost his innocence. He's not naive, but he still has a beginner's stance, a beginner's eye for this. The fire in his hand is pure potential. And then finally, the 9. That potential has been tested and multiplied. It's not a flashy victory, but it's an endurance that has carried us thus far, and it's on the cusp of a completion. It also forms a sort of boundary, if you'll notice here. So there's also an echo from the first card with the swords, that the truth and the energy that it gives us also serves as a sort of a barrier, sort of containment to help protect us as we embark on what's next. So that's today's read. Have a great day. Like, follow, and share. See you tomorrow.